Yo, yo, giggity, yo.
Guys.
What's up, sis? What's up with y'all? What?
All right, I had my volume turned off.
Oh, no wonder you couldn't hear me.
Yes, I cannot hear you. Hey.
Hey,
What's up, my
Yo,
people?
yo,
Yelling.
greetings, 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 greetings.
Yes. Greetings, my
One and all.
people.
I see
So,
blue, blue on you.
yes, we are out here,
Linnea wearing blue.
at least in her picture, right? Always
in the picture.
the color. All right, let's go ahead and let our friends-in-law in the waiting room in. Good day, bold moral justice. Hey, Veronica, joining us on both apps. Greetings, everyone. Welcome in, whether you're joining us on TikTok or on the Zoom. I should probably change what it says here in my board, but we're not going to let that hold us up. Friends, hope everybody has been enjoying this season. Today is Tuesday, the alleged seventh day of the month of April in the fake year of 2026. And we are gathered here today as we have been for over 7 years. Every Tuesday, same number, assisting our people who are either new to studying law or, like most people, have suffered some form of guru abuse syndrome. If you are here, it's because you have a newbie question. You're here to help a newbie answer a question. You're here to help dispel mythology like creating trusts to put yourself, your property, and perhaps your children in, because you think that is going to protect you somehow from it be that from being disturbed. Is that what we should call it?
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
Most of us are confused about a lot of things in law, especially the foundation of law. And even with the inclusion of what I call bots, some others called large language models, and others call it other things. It is in some ways assisting people, and then in some ways continuing the guru abuse, depending on the user, depending on the prompt. So we are here to apply some real intelligence and to develop our real intelligence and to share with each other so that we all may be improved. Okay? There's so many things for us
Or
to try to figure out. So many things that our uh so many parts of our lives seems to have been invaded. So much of our private life seems to have been invaded by policy enforcers, by the presumptions of our neighbors, family sometimes even, right?
Word.
Oh, especially family.
The presumption that because some people or group of people got together and decided how they wanted to run certain things, that it should automatically be applicable to our lives. So during this live, we're going to be talking about that. So absolutely get your hands up if you have any questions about anything that a newbie would be contemplating, pontificating even.
I know I definitely got something in mind for sure.
All right. Let's
Sure.
make sure you share it.
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do first though, I'm gonna share, if I may, about 7.5 minutes of a particular video that I think the full length is almost 12 hours long, but I know exactly the timestamp that I want to share. And then maybe we can put our eyes on the article. I think it is Newbie Tuesday friendly,
Okay.
to say the least. So let me cue with that video with now.
Okay.
Let me get real
All
quick.
right.
It
So
up quick.
definitely put your hands up if you have if you're new here, especially whether you're joining it.
Word.
Ah, even if it's not for the first time. All right. And we'll be
Word.
sharing our Newbie Tuesday guide in the chat here on Zoom. And it includes the links to our As Above, So Below series, which I highly recommend everybody watch. It is available on our Rumble channel, Lawful Living, and it's available on our YouTube channel, Lawful Living 007.
Hey,
So
Gary.
make sure you guys are subscribed. Uh, is it okay if we get a couple of questions before we watch that video, Hassan?
Yeah, go right ahead. Go right
All
ahead.
right, gratitude. Yes, Linnea is linking to the Rumble. Linnea actually is the first person to put her hand up, so let's go ahead and get that newbie question or outburst, Linnea.
Okay, here's my newbie question. I had someone ask this who was recently injured by the police. I
Oh,
did
yeah.
give them an answer, but I figured I would ask their question here.
Okay.
This person wanted to know what should their first step be after being injured by the police, and how do you deal with immunity?
Okay. So the first thing that we should do when damaged by any public agency is a tort claim for the negligence that led to the damage, whether it is damage to your body, damage to property, damage to reputation, economic damage. Absolutely tort claim them and internal investigation report. Do whatever reporting it takes to have an internal investigation launched. And what you have to comprehend about immunity is that it is not absolute. It is always only conditional. That is the reason for the municipal and state level and even federal level Tort Claims Act. It is a conditional, like automatic waiver of immunity when they act in negligence. Okay. And there are other things that, so-called pierce or bar claims of immunity. You have to also understand why immunity was put there. It was not put there to skirt accountability, as sometimes we may allow ourselves to feel. or perceive it. It is actually, as Rich Man has read several times, as it says in Florida, to prevent the shadow government, right? To prevent administrative larceny and overreach. And unfortunately, it's not being used enough. Could y'all believe that?
Oh, I believe it.
Hassan helped highlight that the other day. Just not enough people going after the folks who otherwise come after us. Too often, we are allowing ourselves to simply be the defense. Tap it out, guys. Appreciate y'all tapping it out here on TikTok. Yeah, we will be going after them hard. Okay, Dice.
Hey, yo.
Where you going? Retaliation from a foul tort. What? Hopefully. You're definitely gonna have to get evidence of that. One way to get evidence of if it actually is retaliation is to do a open records or public record, depending on what it's called in your area, guys. One of the things that newbies, related to the question that Linnea brought forth, what to do first, right? You know, for records requests or public records requests or open records requests for all of the text messages, emails,
Internal
and
communication.
other internal communication about your case, guys. Okay?
I definitely have a Newbie Tuesday friendly response to that inquiry.
Hey.
The biggest thing for me, in addition to the wisdom and your response, Malika, is we really need to promote not making a haunted house and scary monsters of the courthouse, the judge, and the attorneys. Because to me, according to my experience thus far, that is, I'm going to say at least 70, if not 80% of the debilitating energy that most of our friends in law and those that may not be a part of lawful living community, that is the main issue. That is some debilitating energy. And what is always best, you know how they say, if you're having a bad dream, don't run from whatever you're scared of in your dream, run toward it because you need to face that fear so you can defeat it.
Yes,
It's the same.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's the same thing with these policy enforcers because one thing's for sure and two things for certain. They're always going to be defective in how they do things procedurally,
Always.
which means they are prone to deficiency.
Yes.
However, they are confident in ignorance being a catalyst to one's not exploiting their deficiencies. And I think when we really allow ourselves, like for example, I was having a off day yesterday. I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing nothing, staying away from my phone, not doing nothing. But a couple friends in law, needed to have a session, and so I was like, you know what? I always, if I'm off, I'm like, all right, I will definitely do the session. And what I recognized in that particular session yesterday, that what usually comes to the table with most people because of the internet, most people are coming with self.
It's not just because of the internet. Remember, attorneys went to college. They graduated, right? Then they went to some postgraduate. This is what's happening. People are intimidated before they even begin. It's not just, That's how they make the boogeyman out of the court. You hear people
Yes.
saying they're gonna arrest
Wizard of Oz.
There's people say that again.
Like the Wizard of Oz.
Yes, like the Wizard of Oz, where everybody was afraid until the little dog Toto pulls back the curtain, and you realize that it's just somebody pulling the strings and making the scary sounds. This is why attorneys even put S comma ESQ, right?
Wow.
Because if you're in an adversary system, which this is, if you can win by intimidating your opponent, you don't really have to actually know how to fight. You don't have to know procedure.
That's so interesting you bring up the Wizard of Oz, because when you think about it, that was a marketing content creator, if you will put it in terms of today, because there were sound effects and visuals being used to sell an idea. And once the littlest thing in the crew exposed, I want y'all to really pay attention to what I just said. The least of them exposed that this was just a button pushing, lever pulling coward.
That's right. Smoke screens.
Go ahead, preach.
We have to recognize that in physics, two things can't take up the same space at the same time. So if someone is a button pushing, lever pulling coward, why are you taking up their duties when that's not your duty? Let them be the coward with deficiencies while you be the one who exposes and exploits their deficiencies in a white gloved manner. In other words, you're not getting your hands dirty.
We are typically intimidated by the fact that these folks are even attorneys, that they went to school beyond what many of us have gone.
Word.
And so we feel like, well, they know the law. And if you realize that the law is supposed to be based on common sense and common knowledge, then any average person can master it. They can.
Correct.
You do not have to be superior in intelligence to comprehend. It's very similar to just learning how to read. Not everybody knows how to read, but would we say it is pretty simple to learn? 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds do it. It's pretty simple, ain't it?
Correct. A lot of times I think people are ready to witness against themselves too when they are fending off the cowardice prosecution. And what I think needs to be the new hypnosis, if I may imply that, what needs to be the new hypnosis is everyone needs to be under the spell of showing how prosecution needs to prove their claim beyond the shadow of a doubt. With
a preponderance of evidence.
You know what I mean? like for real. For
you
real.
Have to write that down, new folks. Preponderance of evidence.
Because, if I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone likes to eat. It'd be ridiculous to say put a 1 in the chat if you like to eat. I'm pretty sure that'd be unanimous. But if you still want to, go and put those ones. However, if when you order something you really like, and you're like, ooh, I got a taste for, insert your favorite dish here. And when you go to, put your fork into it and go and taste it, you recognize something's off. You're like, this ain't how I had it at a different time in life, or it tastes different. What you're exposing and exploiting in that moment of you tasting your favorite dish, even though it's deficient, what you're exposing is that the recipe is incomplete, which means there is an ingredient either missing or unfulfilled. If we look at a claim by prosecution as a meal being prepared, and that claim has elements that must be fulfilled, and prosecution has the burden of fulfilling those elements beyond the shadow of a doubt. Don't you go there in the kitchen talking about, hey, hold on, let me help you sprinkle some salt on that for real because it's just a little bland. No, no. If the recipe calls for salt as one of the ingredients and it's missing, then that tray or dish must be dismissed to the
Yes.
trash can.
McGarvey says bring it in the groceries. Graves
Yeah,
says
I ain't gonna
deficient
bring
dishes.
you cooking the
For
dish. How
real.
you gonna invite me over and tell me I gotta bring food? No, you invited me and you say you was cooking. Go ahead, cook. I'm watching.
Exactly.
Let her cook.
Exactly.
I can't. I wanna. I hope McGarvey is gonna share the deficiency caught in his case, where the attorney that didn't even want to give his name and attorney number ends up filing their appearance after the hearing. Now,
5 minutes after, too.
why is it that the attorney didn't know that they were supposed to file their appearance prior to the hearing? So that they
The
didn't
judge seemed to
that
think that
he's
he knew,
supposed to know.
but I don't know. What y'all think?
Is he, as an attorney, is he supposed to know?
Wasn't it a backup attorney?
He probably thought McGarvey didn't know.
There we
Isn't
go.
that
That's what I'm sticking
crazy?
with. I'm sticking with that one right there. What
Isn't
Nana
that
just said.
crazy?
Sure, I
They
concur.
I think
think.
I
Go
think it's
ahead.
that they do it how they usually do it. If you talk to him, he probably say, "Well, we usually do it that way," or "That's usually fine," and they just hope that nobody says anything.
Correct.
And
Correct.
Not supposed to know.
our attitude is, you might be able to get away with doing that to everybody else, but we ain't gonna let you do it here.
Hell no.
It's like that great scene in Shrek where the donkey's flying and they go, he can talk. He can fly.
Right.
Word.
Distracted.
And I also
Okay.
filed some bar grievances because respect me. All right.
Yes. Use all the tools that you can.
What's even more impressive to the courts is respect the judicial process.
Yes. Every time I read a version of that good faith notice, guys, I'm like, this is so good.
Indeed.
This is so good.
Indeed.
Right. Respect my lawful living, like Naima says.
So when you go in and you try to do the proper due process law, they call you a sovereign citizen.
Yeah, but what do you call the attorneys that don't seem to know what procedure is? What do you call them?
A sovereign dumbass.
White walls, a den of thieves.
We got to come up with a good name.
Bar grievancer.
Bar grieved.
Brown soul shoes.
Pettifogger. Pettifoggers.
Pettifogger shyster.
Wow.
You have to look at the rules, guys. This is not, it's universal principles, right? It's universal principles, but it might be called something else in your immediate jurisdiction. Sometimes you have to look into whether filing a paper is considered an appearance, or do they actually have to file a actual separate appearance?
It just brings to mind after the NCAA basketball is such a big hoopla. Even in that, they do after further review.
See, after further review. I'm telling you, this is why one of our first classes is Beat the Bar, because everybody says things like, Bank of America is coming after me. US Bank is coming after me. You know, some store credit card is coming after me. Isn't that how we usually say it, guys?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
That's how we convey it. But
Yes.
who's signing all the stuff? Who's signing anything?
That's
Is
what I
it
mean.
typically an agent of Discover Card or American Express or Express? You know, is it usually anybody signing from the bank, from the credit union? Is it usually?
Word.
I haven't even seen any of those credit union people or Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I thought Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac was going to be in there.
You thought those actual people's name. Hey, Freddie. They're like, what?
Freddie. Isn't Freddie Fredo for
I don't know.
you like Fredo, you broke my heart?
They
Or like
twins.
Freddy Krueger. They're hoping they're your worst nightmare.
Look, that's what somebody put in the chat, Hassan Kruger.
Really? Wow.
All right, Graves, go ahead with your question, comment, or emotional outburst.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So, my friend here, he is new to our community, and he recently had a run-in with a policy enforcer who gave him an offer that he had to sign or thought he had to sign, and now has a alleged traffic ticket for speeding that he has to take care of. So he's wondering what the best thing to do is and what's the best way to go about dealing with this. So I
I was
understand the
just,
tort claim.
I was just thinking that, Stephen. I gave him an offer he couldn't refuse, like the Godfather.
So we have a class called Ticket Terminator. Put a 1 in the chat if you've taken that class. Put a 1 in the chat if you've taken the Ticket Terminator class, especially if you've used it to beat a ticket.
And this is actually his first time with us here today. So he's getting a feeling of our community.
Shout out to everybody who took the Ticket Terminator class.
Word.
So, of course, it's always best to take a class before you need it. Especially a class like Ticket Terminator. So I recommend that if you are an affiliate, see, Brenda knows what to do. Put the Ticket Terminator link in the chat. But what is the first thing that we typically do when we get a ticket, guys?
Bitch and moan about it.
Well, that's
Wolf,
everybody
cry
else.
wolf.
That's everybody. That's everybody else.
Disqualify? Are we qualifying?
Y'all can't
Disqualifying?
just give wrong answers. It's Newbie Tuesday.
Okay.
A friend of mine actually disputes them so that they can wait longer to pay it. That makes no sense to me, but
So they
whatever.
still end up paying it?
Yeah, but they'll dispute it, and if they come back with it on them for it, they'll actually pay it or make a payment plan. But that makes no sense to me.
Maybe it just works for them.
Right.
They're okay with paying.
A notice of liability.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They just like the long way sometimes. Some people are just like the long way to the inevitable conclusion. So if you know you're going to pay, and it's okay to pay, guys. It's okay to pay. It's okay to not want to deal with it because lawful living is a lifestyle and it's a difficult one because you have to stand on your private business. You have to stand on your closely held religious beliefs and
I take
not
pride in
allow.
I take pride in being in this community when that was how I got introduced to you folks. And I take pride in that of over $3,500 worth of closed cases that are on the docket right now. So a little bit of receipts for those that are listening.
Yes.
You have to be about what you believe, not just believe
Your
it.
closely held religious beliefs. So we typically do a tort claim and send a notice to the court about the deficiencies of the process used to issue the citation.
True,
And yes, Yoni, great reminder. If ever felt that you were forced to sign, you should express that. If anybody feels that they were forced to sign a ticket, why not express that? When they ask you to sign UNDER DURESS.
On that note, when I was kidnapped and held at a facility in Kern County, aka a jail, when they were going to release me, they gave me some paperwork that said, you have this next court date and you have to sign here, otherwise you won't be released, blah, blah, blah. I signed under duress. I signed it in cursive, so it looked like a signature, but I literally just wrote under duress. And one of the cases, it hasn't moved forward. It hasn't done anything. Like, they haven't even issued a warrant. I haven't. They're like, the case is literally at a standstill, and it's not even popping up in the system anymore. So I think that
Results
that
are typical. I just want everybody to know results are typical, especially in California. Do y'all hear me? Come test Mina. Just do it.
I can give you guys the case number and you can even look it up. But
and it's not because I'm afraid. It's because I want to get paid. And these suckers ain't paying me to show up. And they're like, oh, well, that's a silly way to interpret the Constitution. I don't care. The fact that it can be interpreted that way. And then the law says if it can be interpreted more than one way, you're supposed to put it in my favor.
Correct.
Preach.
If there's ambiguity.
Well, you can never get your time back, and that's valuable.
Oh, are you saying power to the people?
Yeah, basically. All political powers inherent in the people. Well, why the hell did you write this shit so vague that it could be read in two ways? And then, if it could be read in more than one way, if I can show that it obviously could be read in more than one way, you have to put it in the way I'm interpreting it as one of the people. These are the types of tools to use, my new folks.
Compelled performance.
If it's vague, they don't think it's vague. They think it's straightforward. No, it ain't. Because the definition of person says blah, 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 and other legal entities. And how does somebody automatically become a legal entity? Is it an automatic thing? You have reached the age of the same age of some of the people I can control. That means I can control you too. All right,
They're just so used to people agreeing that they're not going to give any pushback, but people got to have that pushback to stand up for what's right.
Word.
How dare you use your birth name? Just say legal entity.
Yeah, they don't care anything about your birth name. That's just what my legal entities are respond to. They don't care.
One of the biggest things for me that's being used in these street cop trained pretextual stops that people call being pulled over, but we call it being roadside arrested. One thing I recognize that's used a lot is RDO, which is resistance, delay, obstruction, right? And when that's used, it's often used when you're not giving up information verbally. And in order to resist,
when you say giving up information verbally, do you mean not self-incrimination?
Exactly. And I think there's a lot of
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right? there's quite a few jurisdictions, if not all of them, that has some type of case decision that says simply not giving up something verbally is not resistance, delay, or obstruction. Because if people are exercising their rights, which they
1, 2,
have,
3, 4.
I know, right?
Philip.
All the time, every time, and that's what's got to you guys got to see. That's why I said, don't witness against yourself. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what is happening is these people want of the jurisdiction that obviously is not there. And what they're hoping is your ignorance will have you incriminate yourself. In other words, witness against yourself. And then when you do so, now you are losing sleep, losing weight, can't, make love or whatever you enjoy doing because now you're.
Yeah. I'm suffering from what?
You said loss of consortium or erectile
Yes,
dysfunction,
erectile dysfunction.
right? And these things are happening because, again, you have been socially engineered by the court TV and the news and your peers around you with their superstitions, pertaining to whatever subject matter when it comes to being pulled over. At the end of the day, you have to know that you're not obstructing anything and you are complying, while at the same time you are standing for rights that not only the federal but also your state's constitutions guarantee are protected. All righty, so we have to make it popular to stop conceding. All righty, I yield.
Indubitably,
This
100%
this is
agree.
where I also want to add in a shameless plug for the neutralizing street cop training. That's in the Newbie Tuesday study guide. Thank you,
Indeed,
Hassan.
indeed, gratitude.
Like, do check it out. I watched it with my kids, and it was really good because it's short, sweet, and to the point, where you can understand what to say while under pressure. So do
Did you
check it
guys
out.
get that? Comprehending street cop training added to the Newbie Tuesday guide.
Neutralizing. Uh-huh.
Neutralizing.
Street cop.
I'm sorry, forgive me. Could you put that in the chat for me, pretty please?
Yes, put the guide, the link to the guide in the chat. If you can put the link to the guide here on TikTok, that would be awesome as well. Gratitude, no, welcome in. Thank you for tapping it out, guys. We're at 17,000 tap outs with 19 people in the room. Appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Okay, so I have a bevy of things I
I
want
just
to
wanted
share
to
with
add
y'all.
something to what y'all was saying, because in order to resist, you have to be using force. That's what lawfully is said.
Physical obstruction. That is correct.
Wow. So not
Correct.
just verbally, like you say, not self-incriminating or giving up verbal information.
Correct. They'll use
Gotcha.
RDO, resisting, delay, or obstruction. And delay is, you're delaying them from doing their
But
duty as a policy
obstruction would
enforcer.
actually be blocking, not simply not answering. That's what you're saying. Physically blocking.
Obstruction would be running or snatching the pen out of the policy enforcer's hand when he's writing the ticket, or snatching the ticket out of you know what I mean? That's physical obstruction. You know what I mean? So when those things are not on the table, you do not need to worry your little head about anything that they're saying, because 9 times out of 10, even that which they're charging you with, the elements are not fulfilled.
And that's the main thing, guys. We usually trigger fear because we think, oh, they're lawyers, they're attorneys, they know the law. They basically have already won, and you either should not resist at all or should fear retaliation from resistance. But anyway, we keep obstructing McGarvey.
I was about to say we about to see how well they know this law. We about to go through it. All right, peepees. All right, so this is the entry of appearance, Fannie Mae Freddie Mac Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation, and against Derek Fraser, the deceased other occupant, and all others. And this is the entry of appearance. I finally learned his name, guys. I got his name and his bar number, and I grieved him. I grieved him. Here's the grievance for him and the original attorney.
So did you grieve them for appearing in the case?
I grieved. I grieved.
Without their appearance.
Yeah, I grieved this one because I put all the details. He said that he entered an appearance and he didn't, and there's proof of that. And I uploaded the photos of the record, which I'm about to go over with you guys, and also how the other attorney is just failing to communicate with me regarding the delegation of authority, and then proceeding after having an initial filing, and then after not showing up, getting it dismissed, filing it the very next day, and then having some subcontractor come, and then still lacking all the authority that could be presented to the record.
Since this is Newbie Tuesday, you aligned the what you just said with obvious evidence from the docket. I'm trusting that's what you did. And you aligned it with what model rule of professional conduct for Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia Rules of Professional Conduct, GRPC, I believe is what it could. I had the bot help me out a little bit.
Which
11:50.
ones?
Y'all see the time? March
Which
31st,
ones?
11:50.
Yes.
Hold on.
They
Uh,
didn't even know how to get the date right. You see them? They scribbling so fast. What's the date again?
these are the ones I had. A candor towards the court, making false statements to the court.
All right.
Yes, because
You know
he
what I'm saying?
actually said on the record,
And I have it recorded. I was
I
gonna play the
filed my
recording.
entry of appearance
Yeah.
this morning.
Y'all want to hear that? Should I play it?
Y'all want to hear it again?
Hold on. Because look, what I wanted to do was, okay, y'all see the date, right? 2026, March 31st, AM, 11:50. Okay.
You crying for them, Don?
All right, hold on. Now, this is the order of a continuance that I enter. The judge gave it to me. The judge gave it to the bailiff to give to me to put it to the clerk. So I gave it to the clerk, entered in a 11:45. So let's listen to.
Oh, y'all see the date?
Y'all see that right there? 5 minutes. 26 March 31st, right? 11:45. Okay, hold on. Maybe I could flip it for y'all. Hold on.
No, it was good.
Okay.
Oh.
So we ain't got no discrepancy. Y'all read that? It's right side up now. So everybody know, okay? 45, 50.
Right.
So that continuous came first. Okay, let's hear what happened. I would like to see that entry of appearance so that I know.
That he is authorized to practice law and to represent this company. Now move on.
So just so I understand, you're saying that I'm not allowed to see the entry of appearance?
You should have been served with a copy.
I was not served with it. Did you serve me a copy?
I did file it today, Your Honor, in the court this morning. It should be, and it will be in the clerk's file.
The question was,
It should be, and it will be in the clerk's
It should be or it will be, N-word.
the question was, did you serve a copy? It's a yes or no.
More. Did you serve him with a copy or not?
Did you serve him with a copy or not? Choir man want to know.
Did not. I filed the entry this morning. I did not.
Liar!
I filed the entry this morning. I did not. I filed the entry this
what?
morning. I did not. I filed the entry.
Put that in the mix.
I did
Right,
not.
that needs to go in
filed
like
the
a
entry this
song.
morning.
Yes, when attorneys lie.
I did not. I
Exactly.
filed the entry this I did not.
That's our new favorite
Right, just
song.
wait and slow this shit down.
Oh,
That's our new favorite song. The hits.
I
Wow.
filed the entry this morning and submitted with the clerk's office. Your Honor.
he
The
filed the
new
entry this
the
morning.
attorney,
Wait,
the
hold up.
national anthem.
Hold up. Let's look at this again because he said he filed this. Y'all look, because hold on, let me just make it straight because we gotta get there. Entry of appearance, okay? Because he lied and he thought I wasn't gonna catch him. Entry of appearance.
He was
entered
stumbling all over his words.
all
Right.
of his words.
Yes.
Speaking in past
11:50.
tense, future tense.
11:50, which is 5 minutes after this continuous. Let's listen to
Yes.
what the judge says.
That's how you lying.
When did you get a copy and serve him with it? Because I filed it this morning.
Damn, he doubled down. He said, "Why didn't you get a copy and serve it?" He said he filed it this morning. Hold on, let me play that back.
Filed the entry this morning and submitted with the clerk's office, Your Honor. I didn't. When did you get a copy and serve him with it? Because I filed it this morning.
Because the shit didn't exist. Why don't you say that?
He's doing the Keith Sweat stutter. Ma.
See his face.
Judge about to spit some fire.
I'm continuing this case for lack of service. Now, you're an attorney. And you should know that when you file something, you need to serve the defendant with a copy of that. You know, all this has been a waste of time because you failed to do your job.
That's another fire.
Why did he say it like that?
Where's the horn?
You failed to do your job.
Sound like his father.
Failed to do your job.
Okay, hold up. Like, let's reason, guys. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the judge said he should have served me, and he's gonna continue. Okay, you see that? The
That
judge
should have
said,
been a
we're gonna
dismissal.
continue because you didn't serve me, and then this was filed at 45.
Right.
And he said out his lying lips, probably didn't brush his teeth that morning, that
that's what my grandma would have
this
said.
morning. How did you file it this morning? And it's 5 minutes after the continuance.
So that shit should be dismissed. It should have been dismissed for lack of service because the court didn't have jurisdiction.
That's a fact.
It still didn't have jurisdiction upon the time of the continuance.
So that's lining up for a judicial disability complaint also.
That's right. Because how are you going to continue a case you don't have jurisdiction over?
The continuance is a void order.
Yes.
Because all this happened at 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah, it was like 9.
Even if it happened at 11 o'clock, he put in his entry at 11:50.
Right.
Yeah.
After saying prior to 11:45 that he filed it this morning.
Somebody's pants are on fire.
Well, also the judge is trying to cover his ass foolishly by doing that because, as it was just said, and double check then, McGarvey, that a continuance is a void order, then that sounds like a motion to vacate as well that needs to go on the record.
Okay, hold on. Let me put it.
But like the judge said,
Hold on.
Continuance. Void order.
You got to check and see if that's true.
Hold on.
No, that's a fact. Yeah, I just want to get it in my notes.
The judge actually said out of their own mouth, his own mouth, that the attorney is in good standing with the state and has authority. How does the judge make this determination? Because that is the part that sounds like a judicial disability to me. Or
correct.
At that's probably the best part. At best, it's judicial disability. At worst, it's testifying from the bench and an attempt to submit facts that are not in evidence.
Official to one party over the other.
Because how does he's making that statement? Did you guys hear him make that statement together?
Yes.
Rewind and play that again.
Yeah, he's actually agreeing that it wasn't.
Sí, mentiroso, Livy.
That was before you mentioned the appearance.
Shows bias that it's like he's working for that guy.
It's worse than bias because you are actually making statements that alleging facts that are not in evidence by anybody. You're offering literally your testimony by saying something like that.
And then when the record shows later on that he actually hadn't even filed an appearance, then it makes the judge complicit in like fraud of the court or something because they're trying to put facts in there that, that state otherwise.
I'm glad that you filed the bar grievance because why should he be in good standing when he does stuff like this?
Right.
That means this is the epitome of bad faith, it seems.
You say misconduct.
Did he get his good faith notice yet, bro?
Oh no! I didn't do no good faith notice. I've been cooking up some stuff, but I figured
that's all he needs. You got to email that.
I have it ready to share for Thursday. But I also have this.
You need to email it today.
Okay.
It's too long. Too many days have passed, and he hasn't gotten his good faith notice.
Yeah, I had called him. He had called me back. I was like, "Yo, I'm trying to put water under the bridge." He was like, and I asked him about the appearance, and he was like, "I'm not gonna talk about this," and he hung up the phone. And so that's where we was at.
Wow.
I didn't get that recorded, but I
So
did
why
get a.
you? I mean, that's the good faith notice should have been written, and as
Mhm.
soon as he hang up the phone on you, hit send. Come on,
That's
man.
the type of response from people who get away with shit all the time. Like, I'm not going to deal with this. Hangs up the phone.
That's what attorneys
Doesn't
do.
deal with. He doesn't. He's not accountable for the things that he does, and he gets away with it all the time.
Beat him up on the record.
Foshito. So I'm gonna do that today. But I did have an interesting conversation with the clerk that I think would be in the vein of Newbie Tuesday, as far as them thinking that you don't know, and the clerk saying that she's been working there for 30 years and she still don't know how to do her damn job.
They love saying that. I've been working here for X amount of time, like, and all they keep doing is confirming that for that amount of time, they've been not knowing their job.
I had a clerk do that, said 10 years, and nobody's ever done that. I'm like, well, y'all ain't found the law.
So
You've
y'all,
been not
you want
following,
to
you've
hear
been
that?
confessing to not following the law.
I
Yeah,
mean,
go
And
ahead.
I
Go
did
ahead.
the seat, like, Hassan, whatever it's called when you're not acting rah-rah, but you're doing diplomacy. But I did my regular voice
The
this
white
time.
glove.
The
Oh,
white
oh, the
gloves.
impersonation.
Yeah.
courtroom decorum.
Courtroom
Courtroom
decorum. Okay, so hold
decorum.
on. Here it is right here.
All honesty, the two that you spoke with today, the two ladies you spoke with today, they're very good at their job. But bottom line, they have both been here less than 4 years. I've been here 30 years. So it's all in a way of how you explain it. I
Right.
cannot.
So she gave me this whack ass explanation because they were
About
saying
what?
that about the Popper's affidavit. They said that let me just play it for you so that you can hear her fumble over her words, because that'll give you a
But what were
better.
you attempting to do that she's responding to?
No, okay, I was just trying to get them to email me the docket so I have it for myself, and they were saying that it wasn't electronically filed because it wasn't a civil action, it was a pauper's case. That's what they said. And I was asking, well, what rule did you get that from? This was the other clerk, and the clerk other they couldn't answer me, so she was the deputy clerk who was trying to cover for the lower clerk.
So they're saying they can't give it to you because you don't own it? I'm
No,
not.
they're saying that I can't get the docket because they didn't upload the files into the computer, and they said that it's only a pauper's case, meaning that they don't consider it a civil action, but a pauper's action. Apparently, that's a thing, and I was just trying to get understanding on what the difference between a pauper's action and a civil action was, and where that could be found as far as whatever they're following the rules.
Is this a different case from what you have here on the screen?
Yeah, that was the quiet title action.
Okay.
Yeah.
They
So
don't have a docket. And so it's not a court of record?
Which one this is for the
not this
magistrate
right
court?
here, the
Not
one
this
you're
right
actually
here.
talking about. You should stop sharing the screen so nobody
Okay,
gets
okay.
confused.
Okay,
No, I
yeah.
talking about, you said pauperous, which sounds like poor person.
Yes.
Yes. That was
Mm,
for the that was for the quiet title action, but the clerk would like to have me believe that when I filed my civil action and I attached my affidavit of indigence to proceed without fees, that means that it's not a civil action. It's a pauper's action. That's what she said. So I asked her to substantiate her
A
position.
quiet title is an action in equity. I don't know if that's the same as papyrus.
There's no such thing. She was just lying. I'm saying, like, they were just trying to lie to me about what was going on, because I was asking for what record she had, and she went to the exact section that said that it was a civil case. So how can the section that you're referencing call the action a civil case
I'm
and you're
just still
calling it a
trying to
proper
figure
case?
out what is the point of them not giving you a copy of it though? Like, what does that mean? Who cares if it's proper, civil, criminal, whatever? Let me get a copy.
now that's obstruction. Let me stop. I'm just
It might
serious.
be.
Yeah, it sounds like
It's
obstruction
not.
to me.
It's not civil. It's a court discretion, is what it is.
Yeah, but what we just want a copy of it. We don't care what you want to label it. Why can't I get a copy?
The
That's
court,
right.
Right? Are they saying that they didn't have it?
No, they're saying that the pauper's case is not filed. That's why I can't get an electronic copy through email.
Okay, I think I see what they're saying. Did you not get the judge approval for it to proceed? in
No.
farm papyrus.
Yes, that's correct.
That's why they're saying it. So until it gets approved by the judge to be actually preceded in papyrus, it's received but not stamped filed, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Is it
Even if
normal
we have
for
a
them
hearing, so
to?
what would the hearing be for? If it's
Probably to decide if you're going to be granted the papyrus.
okay,
Correct.
but when the section references it, it says that the determination of the whether or not you can pay or not has no merit or bearing on the actual case itself.
Yeah,
So
so that's true. What are you seeing as the discrepancy?
I'm saying, so then why wouldn't it be filed if
Because
we're
it
saying
hasn't been approved.
okay. I understand.
It wouldn't be filed because it hasn't been approved. But once it's approved, even though it's filed in form of papyrus, doesn't negatively affect how the case proceeds.
Okay, I understand. See, I was about to buck on her. Yeah, no, that was
That's why when you're like, she's lying, I'm like, is she lying?
I have a question. Is it normal for them to charge you for copies of your own case, like just like electronically?
Yes, it is normal. Unless you physically go there, ask for the file. You can look at it all you want. You can screenshot it. You can smack it or flip it, rub it down, but you have to leave it there.
Okay.
If they give you copies, they're going to charge you for those copies.
I mean, because I'm just trying to think, like, if they're creating a case about on you, because they brought these charges, whatever, and then if
They're
you're
not
trying,
looking at it like that. They're not looking
yeah,
like, oh, you're a party to the case. That means you get free access. No, look at that
it's
shit
electronic.
online. Or come to the courthouse, physically put your eyes on it.
Yeah, they don't have it online. It's all
So physically go down there, put your eyes on it, bring your scanner, bring your phone, bring a witness, let them bring their scanner, their phone. But once they have to make the copies for you, they might have a little copier outside of the room, like still inside the building, that they'll be like, hey, you can make photocopies over there for on your own for 10 cents or whatever, but they typically still charge. They don't care to.
I guess I was just lucky because I had always been emailing this lady that was in the clerk's office that it was like one of the ladies that does like the family court stuff and the divorce stuff that I had her. I was on the phone with her one time. She says, I'll email you some stuff. And I had emailed her back, like a year or so later, and she was just giving me copies, like PDFs of all the stuff. And then one time she wasn't there, and so I messaged the other people, and they're like, "It's gonna be $5." I'm like, "The hell? It never cost me before,
He
But
must have liked you.
yeah, she was just being nice, I guess.
Jake, did you have a fee waiver for your case?
No, no.
Okay, so I did in Lake County. I had a fee waiver because I was poor, and I did get free copies because I had a fee waiver. And I don't know how much it would have cost. I got lots of copies for free, but I had to go to the office, and they made the copies and handed it to me. And
Right, yeah.
Did you file your papyrus affidavit?
no, I didn't do that. I got a fee waiver for being on Medicaid food stamps.
Well, in a papyrus action,
We're
you
not
first
going to
file
go
the
into talking
affidavit, and
about
that stays the
papyrus actions.
proceedings, including the surface process.
Yeah, we're not going to keep talking about the papyrus. Just understand that when you do file the papyrus, it is not considered filed unless it's approved by a judge. And if you've not gotten a judge to approve it, it's not going to be filed. And so there may be a hearing to just determine if to allow one to proceed in farm papyrus. But I'm going to recommend to everybody, always be prepared to pay, especially when it's something very important involved, instead of choosing to fight about the pay.
And I didn't take that advice, and I would concur with the advice. So yeah.
Yeah, you're at the mercy of whether a judge approves, and sometimes, depending on how dangerous your case is to their survival of their system, they will allow you to proceed until you start showing that you are a formidable opponent to their attorney friend, and then they will use the fact that it was just their grace allowing you to proceed against you and pull your case. And instead of giving you, let's say, an opportunity to pay to keep the case instituted, they will retaliate and dismiss the case for lack of payment completely. And then the only options you are limited to is begging the judge to reconsider somehow and offering to pay, or paying and then reinstituting the whole case again, which is, of course, an attempt to wear you out. Yeah, Hiru says it happened to me. Okay. All right. So that's just my experience, guys.
And isn't it most people's experience that if you don't file or if you don't serve the other party any copies of something that you file in the court, they usually that goes against you. Whereas
Sometimes. So some people have been given grace. Some of them might even be on this call right now, where the court agents, knowing that you're pro se and or potentially disabled in some other kind of way, have been serving the other party. I actually did a consultation with somebody where they were highly upset because they thought the case was the court was doing something against them by sending a copy. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, of what was filed by the pro se. I don't remember if they were the defendant or the plaintiff, but they kept filing things and not serving the other party. And so as a courtesy, I don't know if it was because they got granted informer pauper status, or if the clerk just realized, okay, this person literally doesn't understand that every time they file something onto the case record, they have to serve the other party. So the court was serving the other party and then sending out a notice that they served the other party, right? And this person was totally confused and thought that the court was doing something against them.
Yeah, because the last good faith notice that I sent, I mentioned that to the attorney that that she has a obligation to send to serve copies of the things that she was filing on the case, and not to for me to find these things out later.
Yeah, well, that you heard what the judge said in the McGarvey situation.
Because
as an attorney, you supposed to know.
Right.
And now you over here wasting our time because you didn't do your job.
Sanctions.
May I, Malika, will you please repeat the term you're saying? I'm trying to look it up. Pauperous, former.
Like
what?
It's called IFP. IFP. IFP in forma.
Okay.
Pauperous. It just means in the form of someone that's poor.
Correct.
Okay.
Someone just typed it into the chat. Gratitude, baby.
Thank you. Thank you. Much gratitude. All right.
Yes. It's a form that every court has to waive fees due to being poor.
And if you were like us growing up and you watched the show Wishbone, they depicted the story, The Prince and the Pauper, and that's the root in pauper.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The Prince and the Pauper. That's exactly what I was thinking. All right. And so you're saying that this has to be approved by the judge. And so
if you're going to go that route, it is absolutely required for it to be approved by the judge. And as I also said, it is sometimes, not all the time, used against us, especially when our opponent is another attorney or a bank. They will allow sometimes the case to proceed to a certain point, and once you look like you're beating up on their attorney, fraternal brother or sister, they will yank your case. So just keep that in mind. Most of the time that I've seen, well, all of the time that I've seen, I'm not saying it happens every single time. There is
Correct.
no opportunity to simply pay. They don't say, "Hey, if you don't pay, we're going to dismiss this case." They just say that's like when you start winning, since you didn't pay, we're going to use that as the excuse to dismiss your case without giving you
Correct.
any opportunity to pay to continue it.
All right. And so then obviously when the case is dismissed, then what is one left with to do afterwards? Like reinitiate, start
You would have
over.
to reinitiate, or,
Mhm.
as I just said a few minutes ago, appeal to the same asshole that
Ah.
dismissed your case to reconsider and reinstate it
Mhm,
and
mhm.
allow you to pay.
That's why some people do crowd funding when they have court cases.
Mhm, mhm.
If you don't have the finances and you feel like they're going to be like, so we don't care, justice is for sale over here, then some people will do crowdfunding.
All right, got it. All right.
Yeah, I got one doing that right now.
That's how I initiated my quiet title. I did an informal papyrus, and Malika says, "Stop playing with those people and pay." I said, "Okay," but they put it on another case that I had on the actual federal, so they had to correct the record on their own. But I actually did pay. But yeah, it's worth paying for.
Yes, obviously. And so if you in a situation where you want to present a case, how do you look up what the potential cost may be? Is that something that you would know beforehand, or is that something?
Absolutely. It's available freely on the internet. Cost
All
to
right.
file a case, insert any county.
All right. All right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, the
State
clerk.
or federal.
Look, you can also go ahead, Hassan.
I was saying the office of the clerk, whatever court it is, they have the menu.
All right. All right. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good questions. Good newbie questions.
Y'all ready for this or no?
We ready. I was ready. I was ready. I was ready.
Yes, bring it.
Okay, so I'm only gonna need about 7.5 minutes, maybe 8 tops, because I know it starts at about 1:23:26. So it's about 16 seconds that has to pass till it gets to the part where I wanted you guys to see it, and then maybe we can read a small bit of the article that this comes from, and I will put it in the chat. But shout out to Lotus, my wife, because she was the one that brought it to my attention yesterday, and I immediately shared it with Malika and Trading Brigade. I'm like, yo, can we please talk about this, because it is absolutely Newbie Tuesday worthy. So without further ado,
maybe is resulting in the child being a little bit below grade level versus not providing education, I think is where the distinction is there.
Thank you for your response.
Thank you.
Representative Belinsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Madam Child Advocate, you might have said this while I was in another meeting, but how many school children in the state of Connecticut are chronically absent?
I don't know the total number of chronic absence. I know the chronic absenteeism rate.
Somewhere between 83 and 88,000.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big number. I'll also point out to you that DCF doesn't know where more than half of these children are. So, before we go ahead and throw the hypothetical baby out with the bathwater and assume that law-abiding people that care enough to educate their children themselves are guilty, perhaps we should fix the dysfunctionality of the very agency that left a child in Waterbury through adulthood unvisited. Was not a homeschooling issue. It was purely a custodial issue, and it was a child abuse issue. He eventually had to set the house on fire because every other avenue was sort of exhausted. But the point is, you're crediting DCF with having the ability to be the arbiter and the investigator of who's missing and who's not. They're not doing it. So I have a really difficult time explaining to any of these people in this room that They are, in fact, somebody said it before me, guilty before proven innocent. That's just not right. That's not the America I was born in. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Would you like that child advocate to respond, or are you okay, Representative Belisky? All right. Brief response,
I will be
please.
brief. I just want to say there's no question that our public education system has a lot of work to do, and the Department of Children and Families has a lot of work to do. I'm not going to comment on the Waterbury facts. Again, it's under investigation by our office. Once we complete our report on that, I'd be happy to come back and talk about where the systemic issues were in relation to that case. But I think that by suggesting that we need to address the fact that we don't have a framework and that there are people who use our lack of regulation to withdraw their children under the false pretense of homeschooling, by suggesting that we need to do that doesn't mean we don't also need to do work in those other areas. So I just want to be clear about that.
I completely agree with you, and I apologize for being a little bit more direct than I might have otherwise been. But the fact of the matter is, until we address our own custodial obligations, I think we're misplacing the authority to report law-abiding parents to DCF because they've withdrawn from school. When somebody withdraws from school, they do state, I do believe, that they're withdrawing to go to a Catholic school. They're a Montessori school. We have lots of Montessori students in the state, or homeschooling, which is growing by 1,800 families every year because of fundamental deficiencies in what we do. So before we cast stones, we should stop living in a glass house. So, and I apologize, but I can't shake that feeling.
Thank you,
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. For the second to say last time, Representative McGee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have just a really brief question. As an educator, I know what typically happens when a student has been deemed inadequately educated, and I think we all know what that process is like, even when it comes to the public school system.
Please, Malika, you sound like me yesterday when I was like, babe, I told Lotus,
Unadequately
I said, babe,
educated lady, you
Yeah,
inadequate.
It sounds like she was unadequately.
What?
yo, that bowled my biscuits yesterday. I said,
Stop being nerds. Stop being nerds.
Look, before that lady spoke, I said to Lotus, I'm like, babe, I think there's people, if we could listen long enough, somebody on that panel is going to say something that shows that they're not well educated either.
No.
Absolutely. And she said she's an educator. She said she's an educator.
She's
an uneducated educator.
Lady, you make me glad I homeschool.
Me too.
See what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, I can't wait to share this. And then the other word that boiled my biscuits was they kept saying the word, like some of the children that spoke, because there were children between 9 and 16 that came to testify, right? As you can see, this video is like 11 hours and some change long. It's over like 285 testimonies or whatever, right? It was 285 testimonies or whatever, right? But anyway, some of the children were saying, it kept saying surveillance, and I was like, that's not a word. You mean surveillance? Because surveillance is a saying or speaking of
messing with their comfortability.
Yeah, but it is what it is. I let it go and I just continue to listen. But I listened to about we listened into about, because the video starts actually at about like 41 minutes and 40 seconds. Because it was just dead air for the first 41 minutes and 40 seconds. But right there, we watched it all the way up till the time said 3 hours and 5 minutes. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. So it's pretty provocative pretty early, as you can see. You know, but anywho, here we go.
which is often why I think families do homeschool. What happens when a homeschool child is deemed inadequately educated?
Why does she says it more than once?
So,
She's proud of it. She's proud of it.
Unadequately,
She's
lady, you should
proud.
be fired immediately.
She is so proud.
Yes,
She's
that's what.
saying it more than once. I mean, once maybe you misspoke. I'll give you that. But then she's saying it like it's a real word.
Yeah.
Bridget, can you give her an ESL class?
Maybe she's intentionally trying to draw attention to
her inadequacy.
Yeah.
Inadequacy.
She's trying to coin it.
You know what she means.
That's right. That's right.
No, I don't.
I can't stand that.
And she's a dummy.
I can't stand that. The
Why would
burden
I
is
vote
not
again?
on me. The burden is not on me to interpret what you may mean if you're not effective in communicating. You got to
correct.
Word. That's why I like video. That's why I like when public hearings happen and they're on a particular topic, because I always know.
She should have never started off by saying I'm an educator. Ladies, shut up.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. All right, here we go.
So I
She's
think
an
it's sort of similar
aviator.
to the question I was asked earlier, but thank you, Representative. I think so. There's nothing in this legislation that requires that the parent demonstrate performance on a particular grade level. It is a demonstration that the child is receiving instruction in the studies taught in public school. And so if a child, let's say you have a 10th grader and they're coming in or they do a standardized evaluation and they're on an 8th grade level, that is not, in my mind, adequate for a report to DCF. That is something where we would hope that the public school or whoever is doing that, reviewing that documentation would provide guidance to the parent to say, hey, here are some resources that you can utilize. But that would be it, right? In our public school, if a child is underperforming, we might evaluate them to determine if they have special education needs. We might provide tier 1 support, tier 2 supports. When a child is being homeschooled, that'll be up to the parent to address if
It's almost over.
standardized
It's
test
almost
shows
over.
the
Give it
child's not
another minute and a
achieving at a
half.
certain level. It would be up to the parent to address that. But if below grade level doesn't result in any consequence based on the language that's in the bill. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
How would she know? She's inadequate. Thank you to Mike.
What's funny is how that
she's
lady.
like, yes, that totally answers it. You didn't even understand half what that lady said. You just inadequate ass.
So this is Connecticut, obviously, for those that know what Waterbury is and other, counties mentioned or cities or towns mentioned, townships mentioned. What the issue is they have a bill, a House bill, right? And this particular House bill, they want to be able to surveil, right? If that's a word, right? Homeschooling, because they're trying to say that the only way that they can prevent abuse is if they get help to prevent abuse is people that are saying they're homeschooling, right? People that are saying they're homeschooling, they're just saying that
kids are being raped at the school.
Hold on.
By the people in the school.
People brought that up in this hearing. They brought that up.
And who's checking you, boo? Who's checking you?
So did you hear the lady in the pink blazer? She just said that the legislature does not provide that the parents have to technically comply or do anything. This is DCF trying to find their way into your homes by way of saying homeschooling is being used as a cover for child abuse. And then they used cases that were outside of homeschooling.
I think she got that in reverse. Public school is being used as a cover to abuse children in many different ways.
Again, you guys have that's true.
Public school is used as a cover.
That is true. Yes. However, we all know what is really happening here. These people are trying to secure their funding. And the only way you can secure public funding is by bureaucratized slavery. being implemented through agencies like.
I'm glad you said it like that, because I could absolutely tell that all that lady's doing is trying to keep them relevant.
Exactly. And remember, when I first learned about DCF, because I wanted to know what is the history of these children, departments. But the first one I studied was Connecticut. And when you study the one for Connecticut, not only is it a fun read, but it is a chilling one too, because they let you know that the Connecticut Department of Children and Families got started through 2 delinquency schools. Okay, a juvenile detention for little boys and a juvenile detention for little girls. And who else is a part of that juvenile detention are their mothers. Yeah.
Oh, they were victims. They were victims of the system.
Well, that's how we would look at it. But again, they're justifying their means to get to the end of funding.
But that wouldn't have anything to do with the $7,500 per child they pay to keep that kid in school, right?
That's why I keep saying the funding. I'm keep talking about, because so now if you look at it, it is collusion and conspiracy. Because if you listened closely, you heard 2 agencies mentioned, or departments: the Department of Children and Families and the Department of Education. They have nothing to do with each other, but yet they're colluding to get into your homes. And when I tell you, that's why I was hoping the little girl about to pop up at the 1 hour and 30-minute mark. I think it's her. If it's not her, cool. I'll find it a little later. And I saw people want the link to this. I'll put it in the chat. The thing is that they had homeschool children show up by the shitloads to do their own testimonies. All righty. And when they testified, there's this one family called the Thomashites. The Thomashites have four children that are all homeschooled. And I'm telling you, they spoke very well, besides the word surveillance.
Did they know about that? It was not inadequate.
Not only that, they pointed out civics. These children used civics in their testimony, talking about the makeup of government, books from the 1700s that they read in their homeschool studies, to show how the same things that were spoken in those books is what's happening in that public hearing today. I was like, oh my
they're targeting the wrong community. Seriously. Kids gonna come in there with dioramas.
Oh my God.
They need flow charts.
Yo, those children were killing them. Those children were killing them. When I tell you, I just sat there, I kept looking at my wife across the room. I was like, oh, this is not good for those adults in the room right now.
They might feel so disadequate.
So inadequate.
I'll say anything except the right thing.
Disadequate. Let's say ill-adequate.
Ill-adequate sounds great.
That's accurate.
Ill-adequate.
The previous school teacher, the students in the schools are completely illiterate and unable to even deal with any of the stuff they're claiming that they can get from education, public education.
One of the children, to add to that wisdom,
and just so y'all know, Heidi is a former public educator.
Well, let's
hear
add
what she said.
Yes, that's why I want to add to our wisdom on that point. One of the children that gave a testimony, he said, I had tons of awards, even a Martin Luther King, I think speech giving award or whatever, up to 3rd grade. By the time I got to 4th and 5th grade, I was failing. And then upon evaluation, not only did they see where he was failing, but they did nothing.
Wow.
Nothing to fix it. So his parents pulled him out of the public schools, and now he's thriving.
Results are typical.
I was like, this is tough.
People abusing their children when they send them to. If you want to abuse your children, send them to public school.
Send them there.
Correct.
You don't if you want to abuse your children, you don't want to homeschool them because you don't want to be around them suckers.
That's why I said, but it's a real bill in Connecticut that they're are to vote on, and I'm telling you, this thing wasn't 11 hours for no reason. They said they had over 2,500 responses to come and speak. Only 285 spoke up, and everybody had 3 minutes each to speak. they already calculated it to be up to 12 to 14 hours of speaking that day. Did y'all hear that? That's crazy.
And some were still disadequate.
Yes. Some were still misadequate. Let me stop.
Some were inadequate.
Inadequate.
Jesus Christ.
But I
Everything
think
except
it
the
is,
right shit.
but I think it is safe to say that I mean, if we're looking at the other side of it, I'm sure some of these people are genuinely concerned that maybe some people or children are being
I
withdrawn
totally
from
disagree.
school. Some people are withdrawn. Well, okay, so for me, I know a family who withdrew their children from school to homeschool them. But what they do is just let their children sit with iPads and sit in front of TV all day.
I
So I'm
prefer that
saying
than anything at public
exactly.
school.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree. But I you know, so I'm sure like their form of abuse that they have in their mind is like neglect, negligence, or
That's right.
yeah.
Physical damage, sexual abuse, things like that. That's what they're trying to claim. But that's what happens at school.
That's what happens at
If,
school.
if you want that to happen to your child,
exactly.
it's more likely to happen, not in homeschool, at school.
Absolutely. I have a 25 and a 23-year-old, and they were never in anyone's schools. They were always homeschooled. So yes.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly
Word.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let me see if this young lady is speaking. Just one real quick. I want to see if in this last minute and a half.
I know that's your highlight. Yeah, let's get to your highlight.
Let's see.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for answering all of our questions. I know you are very much in the hot seat, and thank you for being the person in our state whose job it is to look out for all children. Do we currently require any notice if you were to exit your child from public school for equivalent instruction?
Any notice to
the public schools?
Well, currently, if your child is enrolled in a public school and the child's going to withdraw for any reason, the
These are the
parent has to
products of public
notify the
schools.
district.
I don't want none of y'all as my
They
kids.
can do that by phone call, by email. We do have
Proud.
a
No,
notice of
thank you
intent
for lying to us to our
educate.
face.
Let me see if let me hold on. Let me see. I gotta fast forward real quick because I want y'all. This guy goes hard too, or whatever. Hold on. Let me see. That young lady cried. I'm trying to find the Thomashites. This is one of the Thomashites
First
right
time for everything
there.
because
Hold on.
Pause attention. Followed by Olivia. Olivia, child, no child.
I want you to hear how these children speak,
Thank
but
you so much
it
for
was her
listening here
sister
today.
in the white blouse.
My name is Olivia Tomashite, and I'm from West Hartford. I'm here to ask you all to vote no on HB 5468. HB 5468 strikes at Connecticut's historic educational freedoms, targeting homeschoolers in particular with unconstitutional government surveillance. Studies about homeschooling and child abuse, such as the one by Ray and Shaquille cited in my written testimony, show that demographics such as family instability are predictive of child abuse and neglect. Educational choice is not. HB 5468 ignores data-based evidence, singling out homeschooling parents as inherently suspect rather than presumably innocent. In abuse cases such as that of Mimi Torres Garcia, DCF had an open case with the family for years and did not need further information. If DCF has no previous history with the family, reviewing their files is an unwarranted intrusion on the family's educational decisions. Connecticut's educational freedom means so much to me. I've grown up in Connecticut and I've been homeschooled here almost my whole life. Now, as a student at CT State Capitol, I'm so grateful to be a part of Connecticut's amazing heritage and community. This is my home. I'm here today because I see Connecticut's freedom of education being threatened by HB 5468. The requirements target homeschoolers in particular and parental rights in general. The Connecticut State Constitution grants the primary responsibility for education of children to the parents, allowing them to undertake that responsibility personally or to delegate it to a school. The roots of this law go back to the 1600s. Now HB 5468 seeks to overturn our heritage of educational freedom by essentially granting the state primary authority over every child's education. What I love most about Connecticut is the way that you, our legislators, balance liberty and compassion. You strive to protect and care for all citizens while not infringing on the liberties we fought for since the time of the Charter Oak. Please demonstrate that compassion by making more effective use of DCF's open cases on children who are at risk. HB 5468 does nothing but distract from the problem by targeting innocent homeschooling parents with unconstitutional requirements. I want to work and live in Connecticut my whole life, and I hope to raise a family here one day. I want to homeschool my children here and teach them to love Connecticut's heritage and community as much as I do. I'll bring them here to the Capitol and teach them that democracy means they have a voice in their own government. I want to tell them that when they speak up for freedom, their voices will be heard. Because when I spoke up for freedom, you listened.
Damn,
Please
her
make
parents
that
lied
true.
to her.
Protect our freedom and future and vote.
Yeah, that's the only thing about the when the democracy thing point,
Democracy is what
inadequacy.
got your ass standing there in the first fucking place.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, inadequacy, surveillance, and democracy made
Well,
me.
no, I think she really did mean surveillance. It just means like inspection, like under close scrutiny, and observation and stuff. So I think she got that one on point.
Well, so that's surveillance is when you're continuously observing something.
But
And
it's surveillance, not a word.
no,
No,
surveillance.
it is a word. I think she got that one.
Is surveillance not a word? Now we
I'm
about to
doubling
figure
down.
some shit out
I'm
now.
doubling down on surveillance here. It's not a word.
Surveillance is a word.
No, I'm doubling down.
Maybe some
Survey.
northern
It's to
accent.
survey. It's to inspect. It's to look with scrutiny. It's to survey.
The fact that survey is a word doesn't mean surveillance is a
Correct.
word.
Surveillance
Just
is
like the fact that comfort is a word doesn't mean comfortability.
Comfortability. That's true.
Is a word.
There's no
correct. So
etymology for conveyance. I just looked it up.
no,
But
it's
there's
survey.
excuse me, surveillance. But there is an etymology for survey. Yes. No
Survey
though.
and
Yes, we get
surveillance.
that.
Surveillance is a misenunciation of the
I
gerund.
can agree with that because it is to survey and it's just adding on yens. Yes, I get it. Yes.
Correct. Surveying is when you're doing a one-time
The
view
act
of
of.
something to measure something. You're taking a survey to get a broad perspective one time, whereas surveillance is continuous inspection.
Correct.
No, and so that's the only thing that boiled my biscuits. But other than that, her siblings, this young lady's siblings here, oh my God. I was like, who are their peoples? Because they're showing that they definitely, like Linnea said, they picked the wrong fight. They
Or
picked
the right fight with their inadequate ass.
All right. So let me show y'all where this came from, right? So Lotus was on she was on Jesus Christ. Hold on. Where is it right here? She was on I think she was on one of the social medias and she clicked on the joint. Oh no. Is it not here? Hold on, let me see. She was
right,
on
F rank. They don't seem to understand. They didn't teach their children why there's the word democracy does not show up in any constitution, even once, not one time.
Hold on, let me get y'all this article real quick, y'all, because I want y'all to really see that it came from a community where I was like, okay, they've had it. Here we go. That now this is, to me, that's one of those, like, one of those final trumpets sounding ish. So I was like, hold on, I'm almost there, y'all. All right, I just clicked on it. Let me come back here and shareth the screeneth so you guys can see it. One quick second. Boom, share screen, start broadcast. Okay, so here it is. It was CBN, right? For anybody that knows about the televangelists, right? So it was CBN, and they's like, HSLDA lawyer warns bill would create a surveillance state for homeschool families by Benjamin Gill. This was 3/26/2026. The Homeschool Legal Defense Association, HSLDA, is sounding the alarm about a new law being proposed in the state of Connecticut, saying it will lead to a surveillance state for homeschooling families. The bill in question, House Bill 5468, would reportedly lead to sweeping changes to the Connecticut homeschool law, right? Requiring significant additional oversight when parents withdraw their children from public school. Not only would families be required to submit annual education portfolios, but the government would also collect the record data on the
police. Parents would also reportedly need to get permission to homeschool from the Department of Children and Families in certain circumstances. And Lotus was like, are these parents foster parents? Do they have an application with DCF? I was like, what you reading? So I was like, send it to me. And when I saw this, I said, oh my God. And I read more of this, and I was like, let me send this to Trading Brigade and Malika, because this right here is bananas.
Yeah, straight up bananas.
Where was
Yeah.
this, his son? Over in Salem? Oh, I mean, Connecticut.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a witch hunt. I know, right? So but that's the thing. It's like, yo, like, are you serious? Like, this is crazy. So let me copy this and put this in the chat for you guys so you can see it, because the video's at the bottom of the article. But yeah, it was definitely, when I saw it was the Christian Broadcasting Network, I'm like, man, if the televangelists are like flag on the play, I'm like, yeah, it's getting real in the field. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that they don't normally do that. I know what the televangelists usually do because I keep my eye on all news. I don't care what your religion is. I'm watching it. And when I saw that, I was like, oh. And then when I heard these children saying what they saying and pointing out civics and stuff like that, I was like, this is not a good look. And then it forced a lot of those people on the panel that are delegates, or it was a couple congressmen and I think a senator or two that was on that panel, right? Because there's only 2 senators per state. So it was a senator there, right? And I ain't going to front. Some of them had to be like, that was really great. It was a great speech, and you spoke so well. Oh my God, I'm gonna get fired. You did really great. Like, you could feel the tension coming from the panel because these grown people started saying things like someone who is uncomfortable and embarrassed. You can pick up on that energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So I yield, y'all. I'm about to put it in the chat for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
That grown, GROAN.
Block them at all costs from further interfering with our private lives.
Mm-hmm. I remember back home in Cleveland, where I'm from, when I was homeschooling my 2 stars, I had close people to me threatening, like, oh, aren't you afraid that that they can come and take your children? I used to just laugh in their faces, like, who gonna come and take what? Who? What?
Exactly.
Who? I ain't scared of what? I don't need nobody. Did you ask? I said, ask who?
Ask who?
I didn't ask anybody to get impregnated and push them out. Like, what? Oh,
the idea that the government automatically owns us and automatically are our actual, like, why would intelligent people create such an entity? Can y'all help me? Why do people think that that's the purpose the government was created for? We are going to get together and create a government that replaces our parents. Who would even say that?
The inadequate.
It's inadequate. It's inadequate intelligence.
Y'all are hilarious.
The people already damaged by the system. God. Who would in the beginning of this, who'd be like, you know what? I can't stand none of y'all. But what we're gonna do? We're gonna get together and create an entity that's gonna control us all.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Definitely diabolical.
Super.
My husband is still holding it against me. Some of the kids might hold it against you too. Our homeschool son, I'm sure he's gonna put his kids in public school.
Yeah.
No.
Isn't it something though? But that that they typically do the opposite of what what it is that we did.
Well, my parents homeschooled us and sent us to public school. How y'all like that?
Sometimes you'll find that kids will come back around to however.
Oh, they always do. Yep, they always do.
Like, you have a little time where you depart from the things that you know better about. They'll be back.
Yeah, the
you
Amish.
gotta individuate and then you return. It's like an ebb and flow, so I get it.
Yeah, the Amish call it Rumspringer.
Right.
So they say you eventually become your parents.
It's so true.
I
Yeah,
hope not.
I call that Jerry Springer.
Stop it. Rumspringer is when Amish children turn 16, they get an opportunity to go out into the world of sin to see if they want to continue in the world of sin or come back to the Amish way of living. And that's what I was referring to as Rumspringer.
Yeah, you get tested. You go your own way and see how that goes. See where that leads.
Yeah, that's what all our kids are doing right now.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I
Growing and developing and learning. So
only because we have faith in what we instilled in them.
Exactly.
I definitely would not have made the choice to send them to school any longer than they were.
Word.
Shout out to my baby girl Sunny on the line. Hey, baby. Mwah. Mommy loves you.
Hey, Sunny.
I just want to say this really speaks to my heart, what you're presenting today, because my daughter was so damaged by what they did to her through ACS that she doesn't even acknowledge me as a mother. She has verbally and physically attacked me, tried to kill me. And we've had to put her in public school because that's the only thing she'll do. And now in New Jersey, where we had to go to a different state because they don't allow you to go without vaccinations in New York anymore. Now, what's called DCF in New Jersey is now coming after her again. And I've shut them right down. I was like, listen, I'm a lawyer. I told her I'm a lawyer. And if you continue to prosecute, I'm going to sue your asses. And so far, they haven't come back on me yet. Just emotional outburst. Yeah.
Way to go.
Okay, Mama Bear. That's a success story.
Well, we'll see. I'm waiting to see. That was a week ago. So, yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Okay. We'll wait for confirmation.
Rumpelstiltskin.
All right, guys. So do we have any other questions, comments, emotional outbursts?
Yeah.
All right. So there was something I wanted to show you guys. Something I wanted to show you guys. It's similar to, funny, like what Hassan said. But let me see if I could. So this is a video that's called "The Real Jesus Was Too Dangerous for the Church."
I love that title.
Love it.
I'm so glad.
Facts.
And what's interesting is, just like Hassan said, my significant other sent this to me. And I was like, I got to share this with her.
So hold on. Are you saying Jesus, the real Jesus was inadequate for the let me stop.
Oh my God.
The real Jesus was just like us. He fought everything the government was trying to
inadequate. Thank you for bringing that term into my life. Names unnecessary.
Yo, y'all are hilarious.
Okay. So before, let me just share the link with you guys. Let me see. Well,
Or maybe the church was ill-adequate for the religion.
I like how y'all just incorporate, right? Look.
Instant implementation.
Hey, we're at 100K likes. Gratitude, guys. That's one way to kick it back up.
Instant implementation, right?
But now you got even the TikTok folks infected. Unadequate circles back around. That's right.
I know, right? Everybody put the wrong adjective for something in chat.
Exactly. Like, just put the wrong prefix.
For real.
For whatever you want.
The wrong yeah, correct.
And then add suffixes too for surveillance.
Oh my
exactly.
God.
I know, right? Jesus.
Oh.
My sister's calling. 10 more minutes, baby. So this weekend, guys, we got to see our nephew take his first steps.
Yeah. Congratulations.
This is so awesome.
Go, nephew.
That's not something that everybody gets to witness.
It's so true.
Is that the
Correct.
baby you were at the hospital with just recently? That seems so
You say
soon.
just recently, he's gonna be 1 in 25 days. He's
Way
going
to
to be a
go.
year old. And we've been hanging out with him every single weekend, sometimes twice a week, sometimes missing our class or starting it late. I
Yeah.
know some of y'all have heard him in the background.
Wow, it only seems like it was a few months ago when you were in
It
the
was,
hospital.
though. It was. So he decided, I'm 11 months. I'm going to stand up and start strutting my stuff.
Word.
So I'm going to link it. Let me just do it now, because this is Adam sent this to me. Copy link, boom. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Pow. If y'all want to watch the whole thing. But there were a few seconds here about mindset that I wanted to share with you guys.
Okay, this is like really annoying, okay, for people, because before your teacher would tell you what is good and what is evil. Now the teacher's saying, you guys decide. Now it's complete chaos. Okay, and again, it creates anxiety in people. People just want to be told what to do.
Y'all heard that? It happens all over the place. This is the issue with the knowledge of good and evil. Do you guys comprehend how that is the case? This is the problem with the knowledge of good and evil. Nobody to tell you what to do. So now you have to decide, am I going to do this thing that my heart or my soul is telling me is not a great thing to do simply because nobody will see me?
That's in harmony with that Killer Priest video I sent you.
Yes.
I know, right? Look at that. Look at how that energy is moving.
We played that together the other day too, by the way.
Yeah, Killer Priest or
Adam
Wu
said he
Tang.
appreciated it. I don't know if he messaged back.
No, oh, I don't know. I got no.
He
If he
might
does,
not
cool.
have, but I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, I ain't
Okay.
going front. When I saw that, I was like, yo, Killer Priest still got it, man. Like, he still got it.
Definitely could tell you he's observing some stuff.
Yeah, you already know. Anybody out the Wu Tang Clan they got knowledge itself, so they definitely gonna bring something, you know, worth it. Go ahead, I yield.
Okay, having to make choices where you were otherwise or previous to that time just being told what to do. This is why people ask things like, if I don't register my car, what do I do? If I don't register my child's birth, what do I do? If I don't register my marriage, what do I do? If I don't... Anybody newbie here know what I'm talking about?
We all do.
Freedom creates anxiety. Who can relate?
Yeah.
So why do people say they want to be free when the freedom they're asking for creates anxiety? And they start to miss being told what to do. Let's listen.
Okay, people were like, at 5 o'clock, we're gonna have dinner at Pizza Hut. Okay, people don't want to be like, what should I have for dinner? Okay, people don't want to think, man. Okay, keep on going.
But didst thou not know that he would at last reject even thy image and thy truth, if he is weighed down with a fearful burden of free choice? They will cry aloud at last that the truth is not in thee, for they could not have been left in greater confusion and suffering than thou hast caused, laying upon them so many cares and unanswerable problems.
Great, right? You're creating all this anxiety in people for no particular reason. People are happy just being slaves. And now you free them and they're completely confused as to what to do next.
Remember how many times I've said to people right here on this call, what we're going to go through is the foundation is you have to realize you are not a slave. Very difficult for people. This is why somebody came and said, I am harming people by suggesting to them that their birth was not in sin and they were not actually born as slaves. But some
Well,
of us,
if you harming
unfortunately,
people, let them go back to being a slave then. Let them be a slave.
okay,
Just go be a slave.
I'm harming people by suggesting to them, you don't have to do anything to your birth certificate in order to live free. That's causing anxiety.
That's usually what happens when people have to rehabilitate.
Anxiety.
Yeah, nervous system is all out of whack. And it's just so much responsibility. People don't know how to even respond to
Taking responsibility.
to take responsibility and accountability for every single thing in their lives. It's overwhelming for a lot of people.
So why do we ask up for freedom? Why do we celebrate it yearly? Why are we doing that? Can anybody, I know it's newbie, but these are newbie things to consider, ain't it?
We may have inadequate answers for that question right now.
I want to hear people try though. Why do we focus on freedom so much? Why do we cry about freedom? Why do we live for freedom? Why do we celebrate it? Why are we doing that?
Maybe maybe a lot of people don't really know what true freedom is, you know.
Well, they start to realize it. It's about making your own choices, taking responsibility. What were you about to say, Talib?
I'm gonna say stuck on the sickness. The ill adequacy is the problem. And think about that phrase from Malcolm X. Denzel gave the speech in the movie Malcolm X. What's the matter, boss? We sick? We need somebody to tell us when we sick.
So don't talk about freedom.
I also think it's a part of it is that when people really realize, oh, it is all on me, it's too much to take the responsibility for where they are, because right now everybody is responsible for being where they are right now. And so I think it's just a bit of a cognitive dissonance, and it's just like this kind of, denial. It's a denial. So it's a process for a lot of people. And it's hard for people to process the full depth of it.
So you're confirming everybody want to be free until it's time to do some free shit?
Until it's time to do some free shit, yeah.
Is that what we're dealing with?
Yeah, I think Mr. Miyagi has said everybody want heaven, nobody want dead.
That's it.
So, quick question though: if being inadequate or being inadequate means that you're not adequate, wouldn't being inadequate mean that you were adequate at some point and that you undid your adequacy?
Don't ruin the joke.
Yeah, very analytical.
Don't ruin the joke. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wake up.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Or not, because remember, it's about mindset. And some people only want to give freedom lip service because they are not ready to actually be free, but it is popular.
Remember the scene in The Matrix where the guy decided that he should have took the other pill. He should have stayed in the Matrix. Once he woke up and knew what was going on, he wanted to go back into the Matrix.
A lot of people don't want to admit that they are that character in this version of reality. Because that character is an archetype, right? Neo is an archetype,
Exactly.
Trinity is an archetype, Morpheus is an archetype, meaning that there's just not one on Earth, right? There's not just one Neo. There are lots of people that have the potential to be a Neo, right? That archetype. But some of us are going to choose to be, cipher, and we're not going to want to admit that that's what we are.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
More
pretend.
more than not wanting to admit it, those ciphers are going to try to sabotage those who are trying to do it.
Which is just what they do.
Yeah, that's
Because
exactly.
they are like the child that feels resentment from being
Yes.
homeschooled
Mm-hmm.
and think that it was perhaps not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about COVID and all the people that wore masks. That when you went into a store or something and you got too close to them, they looked at you like you were crazy, like you're trying to bring harm to me. The 6 feet away, remember the stuff on the floor and all the stores and stuff? That was just
Yeah.
absolute madness.
You.
I wonder how the people who were into that necromancy feel right now that it has officially been revealed that it was planned
Yes.
by the Epstein class
Mm-hmm.
and not otherwise legitimate at all. I wonder how they feel.
If you're ever having a bad day, at least you're not driving in a car by yourself wearing a mask.
To this day, there's some people still doing that.
There's still people doing that. It's
To this day.
insanity. It's insane.
They're beyond inadequate.
And there will continue to be single masked drivers for the rest of time, I bet.
I'm sorry, but that may be true. Okay, 9 Ether says I got invited to a debate on the validity of exclusive equity jurisprudence. All are invited. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Okay, people are used to being slaves.
All right, keep on reading.
Only some thousands.
Okay, so what we're saying again is your freedom is only good for the minority people who can think for themselves, who aspire to the divine. What about everyone else?
And what of the rest? And how are the other weak ones to blame, because they cannot endure what the strong have endured? How is a weak soul to blame that it is unable to receive such terrible gifts? Canst thou have simply come to the elect and for the elect? But if so, it is a mystery and we cannot understand it. And if it is a mystery, we too have a right to preach a mystery, and to teach them that it's not the free judgment of their hearts, nor love that mattered, but a mystery which they must follow blindly, even against their conscience, so we have done.
Okay, all right. So what he's saying is this, okay? I understand Christianity is complete chaos, okay? But this complete chaos means people will never understand what your true teachings are. If people don't understand what your true teachings are, they don't have to follow it. They don't have to think for themselves, okay?
They don't have to think for themselves. They just follow it. And this is why, despite sometimes our best efforts in assisting people, we just make ourselves yet another thing outside of them to blame. So we're going to end it there. Hope you guys enjoyed that little clip.
And thank you for sharing.
Just wanted to make sure I help all.
You put the link in the chat, sis?
I did put the link in the chat. Do y'all need me to put it again?
Okay, I got it. I found it. I see it.
Oh, you're going to be on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm going to be on TikTok later. But do y'all see all this sun going on out here?
Or we outside now too.
Getting the dirt under my nails. Everybody's noticing how short they are right now.
Yeah.
They're going to be short until October.
Mm-hmm.
How short?
This or shorter.
Oh.
Because now I got a nail brush by the sink. Because sometimes I mix up my bread with my whisk, and then I go outside and I come back in and I scrub everything out from and then I mix my bread again and I come back.
And you still have perfect nails.
No, I have these next to me at all times. I keep them in my fanny pack that I take outside with me. I don't be fucking around with these nails. I got
Yeah,
another kit right here. This is the nail kit, and just show y'all. Got
I
all
see
the
that.
tools ready.
Wow.
I am
Whoa.
ready.
Whoa.
I keep them clean because I know I make food. And so, speaking of making food, I just made some strawberry jelly, sugar, lemon, strawberries, no water,
Ooh,
no thickener. Okay,
making
what's
me
that?
hungry.
Look, first jar almost done. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
I'm just basically putting it on everything. It gets on our hands, we just lick it. It's all good. I wish you guys a productive garden season for those who do garden.
I got a question.
For those who do not garden,
How do I get
what are you
guys?
guys waiting on? Are you guys waiting for the shelves to be bare? I hope not. I stole some potatoes from my sister that is growing eyes. I'm gonna go plant them.
Go plant those. That's it.
And these are my dandelion seeds. Yeah, I'm about to
Yes.
just because
Do you
every
grow
day.
do you grow the sweet potatoes and eat the sweet potato greens?
So I already took the sweet potatoes outside, but I also stole those from my sister because she didn't feed my nephew fast enough. So we got 3. I had one sitting up here just until this morning, but I just put them right outside the door. I'm about to go put those in. I'm about to
And
get
it's
some cantaloupes in. About to do some more
hey,
tomatoes. Are you guys
hey.
waiting for the grocery shelves to be bare? Are you investing in silver and gold that you cannot eat?
I know the Hubbard here.
Are you buying crypto that you cannot shelter yourself with?
Preach. Go
Is
ahead.
that what the internet gurus have convinced you guys to do? Take money that you can buy trees and seeds, but don't
Right.
buy trees and seeds. Don't buy land. Don't buy into your neighbor's land. Don't go claim a house. No. Go put it into things you cannot touch. You cannot eat. You cannot fuck. You cannot cover yourself with it or none of that. And guess what? When the lights go out, what crypto you gonna use? When
That's why I can
there's
say
somebody just
That crypto will be inadequate.
oh,
Inadequate.
that's how you know we got to go.
Look, unadequate.
Inadequate. Tales from the crypt.
Appreciated monsters.
that's why I say I and Adam we're definitely high fiving on 2 different coasts here because both of our wives are definitely doing the gardening thing heavy. So
Yesterday I was picking out more spots that he's gonna have to come and dump more dirt.
Jesus.
But I'm all in. I'm all in on the gardening. My thing is, however, is I reached out to one of your teammates today actually, because I do grow pretty much. I'm in Florida. So the thing is, yes, you already know. The thing is, though, I am under a renting lease, and the lease is up in 6 months, and I want to be here rent free and keep the home. And I want to, because the land, the land
Who
around the
is the
home is
alleged owner? Is it a man
it's
or
like
woman, or is it
it's
an
a
LLC?
management, it's a LLC, Florida Realtors LLC, and it's being managed by Main Street Renewal.
Oh, HOA?
That
Um,
sounds like attorneys, shell corporations.
Correct.
What do you?
all
So they
right.
stole it from somebody in foreclosure a few years back, like maybe me.
All
Well,
right.
HOA
you get
hoes.
foreclosed on in Florida.
And so I'm digging into it now, looking
Yes,
for
pull up the county records and look at the
mhm.
history of how it passed title
All
from
right.
was made. Um, that'll give you a lot of background, like
All right.
if and when it was stolen from a family.
All right.
Okay.
History of how it passed title. Okay.
I wouldn't suggest if it's just a family. I wouldn't suggest to go after it. I would suggest to find something else and go after that.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Is my brother still on?
Much gratitude. Thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure to assist, guys. So until next time, that might be later on tonight. Again, everybody don't have to take my advice. If you guys are not into land and y'all think that getting crypto on the way down is the way up, when somebody could just plug the shit out the wall and it's over, then don't get no seeds, okay?
Hold on. An affiliate announcement as far as Off Duty Alibi, I will be posting something in terms of poking holes in a state's case by showing the elements aren't fulfilled. That'll be getting posted to YouTube soon for the next hour. You already know.
So just in case you guys haven't taken note, Hassan has synchronized his posting for right after, or not right after, like immediately, but on the same day as our Newbie Tuesdays. So make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Correct.
And stay connected, guys.
Peace.
Peace. Wholeness, everyone. Much love.
Wholeness.
Peace.